Tequila Bar and Grill has all the fun and excitement of their live mariachi band. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
When your mind creates an image, it's vivid. When your mind imagines a smell,
the bread, she's already.
it's as enticing as being in the kitchen. And when your mind interprets a sound, you're standing there watching the action. Radio, the medium that works with your mind. Radio paints the picture. Radio touches the senses. Radio constructs the vision you never see. When radio is used creatively, effectively, it brings sight, sound, and feelings to everyone.
Hi, this is Miles Lashley, media consultant for ESPN Northwest Florida, and I would love to help you put together a marketing campaign designed specifically for your business. Call me 850-215-4468.
Every child needs a place to call home. To call home. Every child needs a place
where they can grow up healthy
and learn and be safe. A place where they can play and dream and plan for their future. In the Habitat house, my parents helped build. In the Habitat house, my daddy helped build. My parents. My mommy and daddy. I study. I grow. I learn. I live. A house. A house. A house. A chance.
A future.
A house, a chance, a future are all in your hands. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine.
Like mine.
Like mine. To learn how you can help, visit habitat.org.
If you think dangerous blood clots can't happen to you, think again. Up to 900,000 men, women, and children are affected by blood clots each year, and about 100,000 die from them. Blood clots don't discriminate. You or a loved one could be at risk right now. The good news is blood clots can be prevented. Knowing the risks and symptoms are key. Major risks for blood clots include a family or personal history of blood clots, a recent hospitalization or surgery, pregnancy and cancer and its treatments. Symptoms of a blood clot in the legs or arms can include pain, swelling, and skin that is warm to the touch, red or discolored. Symptoms of blood clots in the lungs include difficulty breathing, chest pain that worsens with a deep breath, or a cough, coughing up blood, and a faster than normal or irregular heartbeat. Speak with a doctor about your risks for blood clots and seek medical attention if you have any symptoms. On average, one person in the United States dies of a blood clot every 6 minutes. Don't let that be you or someone you know. Stop the clot. Spread the word. Learn more at stoptheclot.org/spread the word.
We're your home for live sports. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, Power by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmission starts in 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from the Red Crib Radio Room. The Afternoon Underdogs are taking your calls live. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're live?
We're live.
Oh, yeah, brother. We are live. This is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're also on 102.1 FM in Mariana. If we could just hit that little red dot right there. Boom. Look at J-Mac, man. Making it happen. J-Mac has done amazing things.
I think so.
Let me finish my sentence, brother.
Oh, you were talking about here.
Well, oh, yeah, in your whole life?
Yeah.
Actually, your story is actually really cool, though. You know what I mean? Like, when you sit back and dive into it, it's like the same way, you know what I mean? Like, both of you guys were in the Army. So, one, let me say, as someone who did not serve, appreciate you guys' service.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jay.
You're welcome for our service.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, but, well, I really do. My grandpa served. And so, it is one of those things that, regardless of what anyone thinks, that's important. You know what I mean? Like, and
it's very big. And I want to take this opportunity to maybe mention.
Okay,
that,
no, just didn't go.
I want to take this opportunity to mention that this weekend, it's Memorial Day weekend. Let's remember the reason that we're able to barbecue and everything this weekend.
Ooh, hot take. I mean, real take, not even hot take.
Like real, it's real. It's, the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Veterans Day, we honor everybody who served. Memorial Day, we honor those who gave their lives, and that even includes first responders. So make sure that you remember the reason that you're able to throw the hot dogs on the grill this Saturday.
But before you get carried away,
I get carried away. Oh, that's my song.
My girlfriend's currently in the Army, and she's serving in the Middle East right now. So big shout out to her.
Oh yeah, no, huge shout out. Like, especially active, but still it's still not running over there. I don't know what's going on. But besides active, everyone who has played a part in our country's freedom, absolutely huge. And that is, well, Memorial Day is not necessarily recognizing the ones who are living and have done it and still alive. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. We're not throwing these burgers on the grill. We're not able to have the conversations that we're having. We're not able to pay these athletes buku amounts of money without the sacrifices that are made from the get-go.
So speaking of which, let's talk about the NBA playoff games.
I thought we were going to Reds. I thought I was going to give you. First off, let's get into it right off rip, right?
Yep.
You're wearing the Ghost shirt.
I am.
What is that? Like, where is that? You know what I'm saying?
Ghost Apparel.
Looks like Pac-Man.
Shout out to Angel Ortiz, baby.
Bro, that's my dude, bro. I actually got to play softball with him, and what everybody says about him is correct. Great teammate.
Awesome guy.
Creates an environment in the dugout that, like, Angel, I'm going to tag you later in this for you to listen, but you're a great individual, brother. And I want you to know that, man. I know that you've had your moves. You were kind of working with Spiders. I don't know how closely, all of that stuff. But great on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Angel's, he's just a positive aurora around everywhere he goes.
In the softball community.
Yeah.
And, like, those of us, I don't know about J-Mac. Like, I'm going to tell you this. By the look, I don't think it's there. I don't think you play softball. Do you?
No.
Okay, so I was right.
He says, I play hardball.
I'll play hardball.
Every day.
First off, let me re-dive into where I was heading off in the initial part of the segment.
Sorry.
What you've no, because we're getting right back into that.
Got it.
What you have done for this show, it's been amazing. Like, for the people listening on the radio, they're never gonna understand. For the people who are watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Blab TV, like, the things that he's done has taken it to next level, and I can guarantee you that those next levels that I speak of are low levels, brother. Like, we're
just scratching the surface.
We're just scratching the surface, man. And I love it, bro. Let me be a little transparent. I've had a very rough night last night. And so I'm glad to be in the studio with you guys sitting here talking sports today. So let's get into it, though. Big shout out to Angel Ortiz. Cincinnati Reds.
Big shout out to them Cincinnati Reds.
Let's get into that, bro. Is that not impressive, though?
Hung a 20-piece on the Cubs
20
today.
20-piece, bro. Like, that's a chicken nugget pack.
It is.
I don't know where you get that from except for Rib Crib, but come on.
A couple notable players today. Tommy Pham, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Kyle Farmer, 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Tyler Stevenson, who has been dubbed by a good friend of mine, Colton Thursby, as the best offensive catcher in baseball.
Let me touch there.
Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with Tyler Stevenson.
I don't necessarily disagree. I don't necessarily agree with that either.
Well, the agree, disagree, I'm not there yet. Dude's playing good.
Yeah,
like, you've got some guys, Brandon Drury, like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all got some guys, because like you've alluded to on your social media, so for a lot of people out on the radio, they're not necessarily going to know.
Right.
But you've alluded to the injuries that the Reds have been dealing with. Obviously, the expectations for the Cincinnati Reds, and I know we're Braves. Like, this is a Braves affiliate. But we're talking about the Reds here because Kyle Wright is gracious enough to donate his time on Thursdays to come in here and talk with me, J-Mac. We're not going to get into the donation.
we've already massaged that dude's shoulders today. We're good. More about me, please.
If I can just say one more time, look me in the eye, J-Mac, I appreciate you.
You're welcome, brother.
But the Reds, that's your team. You know what I mean? Y'all dealt with injuries, and now you're sitting here hanging a 20-piece. What y'all have, like a 7-game win streak?
We won 6 out of 8 at one point. Then of course we went up to Toronto, dropped 2 out of 3, that's a tough place to play. Toronto's it's a rough atmosphere.
Why?
Huh? Well,
I'll tell you why it's a tough place to play. Because y'all didn't have Brandon. No,
we didn't have Brandon Drury.
You didn't.
We didn't
because
have,
of the vaccination status.
Yep.
That's why it's a tough place to play. Outside of that, it's not a tough place to play. Like,
you're right though. We couldn't take Tyler Malley up there either.
Those guys are worried about hockey right now.
And not Toronto.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes,
First off, let's
sir.
get into that. Because at 4:30, right, we're going to have Andrew Weiss.
Yep.
Who's a Tampa Bay Lightning brand development ambassador. So we'll have him, and he'll give us the real deal, real spill there. But let's talk about it as fans here.
Man, I am head over heels.
Because I really my opening statement yesterday, or my opening segment yesterday was 100% on that. Where are you at in your thoughts with what the Lightning are achieving right now?
So Game 6, overtime win back in Tampa against Toronto. When we won that game,
I just threw you so off your game.
I was good. When we won that game to force Game 7 back in Toronto, I knew it, dude. I just knew okay, here we go. This is the Tampa Bay Lightning that we've been waiting on all year because it's the same essentially, Yanni Gord's gone, Tyler Johnson's gone. We've lost a couple of essential pieces, but we replaced them with Brendan Hagel and I think
Nick Paul, has been one of dude. Those trade deadline acquisitions that we made out of because at first, honestly, even talking with Andrew Weiss, right? Like at first, it was like always as a fan of a team, you're gonna be like, how are they gonna work out? You know what I mean? Like we've just had a back-to-back Stanley Cup, and like even you go back to last year, like okay, obviously as a Lightning fan, right? If you name your favorite player as Stamkos, Kucherov, Victor Hedman, Andrei Vasilevsky, like, have you been there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, obviously, your favorite player is going to be one of those, but you've got to answer the side question of, like, who's your favorite role player? You know what I'm saying? So last year, my favorite one was Barclay Goodrow, who now plays with the Rangers, and that's why I root for the Rangers. Blake Coleman's with the Calgary Flames, and he was one of my favorite, but I love the way that Barclay Goodrow never got the recognition, but was a stud for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hey, first off, if you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, can you do me a favor and text in 850-215-6290? All you got to do is say, hey, I'm a Lightning fan, and mean it. Tell me your favorite player. I'll finagle some way to hook you up with a gift card.
Ooh.
2, let's go. I got 3 gift cards online right now, but you gotta tell me, and don't say Stamkos. Don't say if it is what it is. But
okay, so I'll challenge you this.
Let's get into it.
If it is Kucherov or Stamkos or Andrei Vasilevsky,
and they mean it, I'm with it.
Right, but maybe give us your favorite moment by that player.
Ooh.
Because that save there at the end of the game the other night in Game 4 that Vasilevsky made to stop them from tying it up before we had
that was
the empty
substantial.
Net.
Dude's been amazing,
that
bro.
Dude's
he's a beast.
He's the best goalie in hockey right now, and he's probably. I mean, they put him on the Mount Rushmore of goalies all time already.
You know what's kind of insane or whatever. Caveman Rick, right? He's with us on Fridays.
Yeah,
and he's probably a bigger hockey fan overall than any of us. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been following that
He's
sport.
the northern guy. That's
he's been
easy,
following
right?
that sport longer than either one of you and I, right?
I mean,
J
look
Mac,
at the history of the Flyers.
Well, J Mac, how long you been following hockey? Come on, spit real with me.
No,
3 weeks.
No,
3
probably
weeks.
since I went to my first hockey game, Stars game. In
You and Old School
08.
would get along. Oh my gosh, dude, would him and Old School not get along?
We need to bring Old School on a segment.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, when you're in, dude, Old School's the man, bro. But yeah, so you've been a hockey fan for how long? Sorry,
About
J-Mac.
08. So 10, 12 years. Math's not my strong suit.
I think I really started following hockey in 2010. That was when I really started.
So not as long as I have.
No,
is
not
what
as
you're
long.
saying.
No, probably not.
Just checking.
That's when
Dude,
I
I'm
really
younger
started to
than you
follow.
and have been following the sport longer than you.
Well, that's okay.
2002. For me, I went to my first Lightning game in 2002.
So I know that they won it in 04 with the classic guys like Cavier and Marty St. Louis.
I love every player on the team, but there was something about Vincent LeCavier that just drawed me to him.
Yeah.
Dude, we've talked 11 minutes on hockey.
Yep. Well, okay. So
love it, man.
Let me rant on the Miami Heat for a second.
No.
The
We're not
Miami
done with
Bricks.
hockey yet.
Oh, well,
you were talking about LeCavier and all that stuff.
I mean, listen. So I wasn't
Wrap
a big
it
fan
up
for
and
all
then
that.
move on into the Heat.
Got you. So we haven't. I didn't really follow hockey that close back then. About 2010. When did we lose to Chicago in the Stanley Cup final? Because that was my first year where I watched every time they were on TV. Like back.
Dude, that was a good year of playoffs.
It was.
But
It was a great year.
I want to say, and I feel like we're gonna have
2012 maybe.
2012. I was gonna say 2013.
Okay, so it was one of those years because I remember the Heat won the championship, Florida State won the championship, and I almost got the Lightning too, and then they lost to Chicago in the Stanley Cup final. But that was the first year that I really watched every game, and I've been on the train ever since, man. Playoff hockey, and I know we talked about this outside for a little while, but playoff hockey is unmatched. These NBA playoffs were fun at first. They're getting terrible now. I mean, the Celtics and Heat, they both look exhausted. I can't believe what was the score at halftime?
2015, bro. We're dumb.
15. Okay, yeah, no, we've never claimed to not be dumb.
That is true. I'll never I have guests on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a reason we have Tommy Bowden, Jay Chapman, Justin Gilman, guys like that come in the studio.
That was a great show, by the way.
Oh my gosh, dude!
And
hey,
the easiest one we've ever done.
One. Oh, you've been here with me, right, for more shows than I've done with anybody else outside of possibly old school.
Yeah, well, probably
All
old
right.
school.
Maybe Leanne is in there. If we were to have the really, you know how it's games started, whatever, I've been here for a while. And that was, especially after hosting the show that I've been doing for the last, I don't know, what is it, 6-7 months. Big shout out to Leanne, who's still going, still rehabbing and all that stuff.
Getting better.
Without you and her putting your neck on the line, essentially, I never get this job. But yeah, that was, I gotta say, bro, we've had great shows, me and you, right? Justin Gilman and Jay Chapman, I had to do this. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. Let's talk baseball. And they just ripped it, bro. That was...
Yeah, there was 3 segments. I was literally just
bro, kick back. Not even kick back. Because you know how it is being on... because all 3 of us, right? All 3 of us have been on that side of the board.
Yeah.
And there's not many times you can sit back, unless the segment is just fantastic, and go. Because, you're either answering phone calls, you're either answering text messages, whatever. And when you get that opportunity as the producer, as the guy on the other side, making sure that everything's running crispy, and you just get to kind of lean back, that stuff's nice, man.
And probably one of the most down-to-earth, wholesome shows that I've ever heard in sports radio.
We're gonna one thing
high
that
praise. Not gonna go there, but high praise.
One of the we get one of those every Thursday. We get it again today at 5:15 with a Real Fishing Report because that's with
look at this promo plug and fool.
Yes sir, with Tim Braddock over there from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, man. He sits over there.
Ain't lost a beat.
Yeah.
You ain't lost a beat.
Ain't lost a beat. He sits over there every week, bro, and gives us this incredibly golden segment, and he types it all out and he delivers it to the T. And I just sit over here and listen and enjoy it and take in the information. And I love when you're able to do that as a host, a producer, as a talent, mostly as a talent, when you're able to shut up and listen.
Well, we had it made the whole show.
They don't
because
call me a talent. I'm just here.
Right State Chris called in at the very beginning and helped us through the first segment, and then it was just baseball.
Well, let's not be real. I mean, let's be real. He just gave his spill. My job, I'm not talent, dude. I'm just here to make sure that the show goes without too many crazy things going on.
And then you brought us to it.
And then I brought y'all to it, and it's I'm putting out wildfires left and right, bro.
You can lead them to Kyle, but you can't force them to drink, baby. Take us to a break,
Good
Dave.
stuff. All right, we got Sydney Fields coming up next, man. We're talking some Women College World Series. We're going to be right back, y'all.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This is unbelievable.
Looking ahead for the Atlanta Braves, they're traveling to Arizona next week. This weekend, the Marlins will be at Truist. And tonight, we finish a 4-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch at 6:20. Coverage starts at 6, right after the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Showers and thunderstorms in the overnight forecast. A weather front coming in, mostly cloudy near 70, a south wind 10 to 20. Developing sunshine for Friday, the high in the low 80s, southwest wind 10 to 15. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, 80 to 85, and more the same for Memorial Day. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance or finding out you still have significant out-of-pocket costs from copays or deductibles when you do go see the doctor? Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS and Associates. Our independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health care insurance costs with no copays, no 80/20 coinsurance, and no deductibles unless you're hospitalized overnight. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
From Mariana to Panama City, from Southport to Laguna Beach, this is the Panhandle's home for live and local sports coverage. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, live from the Rib Crib Radio Room. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Yo, Bay Handyman Services, they do three things. They listen better, A. B, they plan better.
How you doing?
And then C, they build better. You can reach them at 850-753-5014. That's 850-753-5014. They have 24/7 emergency services. You can reach them on their website, Bay Handyman Services. But let's get to what it is. And I brag on these guys. This is 24/7 CWS, College World Series. And then you also, what we're dealing with today is on Twitter, WCWS, Women's College World Series, 24/7. Follow them on Twitter. And I'm going to tell you why. As a softball fan, right, because to me, it is actually one of the most fun sports to watch. Fast-paced. It's like you take baseball and amplify it. You know what I mean? And I love watching college softball, high school softball, whichever way. But this group, the WCWS 24/7, gives you the latest and greatest updates that you need to have. So we've got Sydney Fields on the line with us. Sydney, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no doubt about it. We appreciate it. So let's get into, first off, before we even start looking at the Supers, Oklahoma's given up, and I saw a stat on Twitter, and I believe it was put through you guys, but I saw a stat that Oklahoma's given up like what, 40 between 40 and 50 runs on the entire season?
Right. They've outscored their opponents this season 500-47.
Oh my
which
gosh.
is insane. Their offense is unlike any other right now.
So what kind of a travesty would that be if Oklahoma's not holding the trophy at the end of this?
Well, the thing right now, Oklahoma is missing their ace, Jordy Ball. She's had soreness in her arm, so she hasn't played in the postseason yet, and they still haven't announced when she's coming back. But their other two pitchers have really been holding it down, so they're pretty much unstoppable right now.
And what's the young lady's name who plays for Oklahoma? Jocelyn. What's her last name?
I think
Or did-
you're
or she-
talking Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Sydney.
I think you're talking about Jocelyn Allo.
Yeah, exactly. I typed in Aho, thinking that was gonna lead me right directly to it, and it wasn't. But I knew her first name was Jocelyn, no doubt. And she's still with Oklahoma, correct?
Yes, she is.
That girl is a stud. Now, before we and Sydney, decline this question if you're not ready for it. But I was talking with someone before in Miles, who's an Alabama fan, and he just told me that there's 5 or 6 girls that are in the transfer portal from the Alabama softball team. I was wondering if you had any insight at all. If you don't, let's move straight into the Supers.
That's actually something I've been following pretty closely.
Let's go, Sydney. You're the bomb.
Yeah. There are 6 girls right now, I believe officially, in the portal. Things are kind of falling apart over there, it looks like.
Whoa.
I know, yeah.
I'm an Alabama fan. That's the only whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bold statement, but that's how I'm seeing things right now. I'm a big Arkansas fan. I live in Arkansas.
Let's go.
Arkansas has a transfer from Alabama. Her name's KB Sides. If you know anything about softball, you know about her. She's the SEC Player of the Year, and she ended up transferring from Alabama. She was actually just on a podcast in Arkansas talking about it, and Alabama asked for her not to come back for her last year of eligibility.
Whoa!
So
is that out of the norm? I'm sorry to stop you there, but is that out of the norm that a coach or a team would be like, "Hey, don't come back next year"?
That is very out of the norm, especially for someone that's from Alabama. She's dedicated like 8 years of her life to that program. She committed in 8th grade, I believe, and for them to just say, "Hey, don't come back," that's a really big thing. I've heard many different rumors as to why. Girls on the team saying things, but she ended up coming to Arkansas, and I guess she showed them where she stands. She's SEC Player of the Year. She's playing in the Supers this weekend while Alabama's sitting at home.
So what's next for Montana Fouts? Because she does have that, and I'm sorry, let's not even do that. Let's get into the Super Regionals, because that's what, you know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate you. Like, first off the rip, I gave you a question that, you know what I mean? Like, we did not prepare for it, and you nailed it.
Right.
So let's get into the Supers. Appreciate you so much. Sydney Fields, she's with WCWS, which stands for Women's College World Series 247. Follow them on Twitter. If you're a softball fan and you're not following them, you're doing something wrong. Sydney, first Super Regional that piques your interest the most?
Well, the one that really is standing out, obviously besides Arkansas, is the Florida and Virginia Tech matchup. Florida has a really good offense. Virginia Tech has really good pitching. Florida's pitching isn't the best, but their defense is very good, and Florida has some serious speeds with base running, and small ball works really well for them. And Florida might be peaking at the right time. That's one of the really close matchups that we'll have going on this weekend, and it's going to be one of the best.
Give me a team that, in the regionals, you were like, there's no way that they're winning this 4-pod squad and moving on to the regionals, or to the Super Regionals, rather.
Yeah, one of the most surprising was Mississippi State beating Florida State.
We got a Florida State fan in the building, so that's why I'm kind of like, yes, I've been waiting on this.
Thank that first base umpire for that one.
Did you have a problem with the call, Sydney?
Whenever I first watched it, I thought she was out. The call was safe, right? Or was it?
The call was safe, and they reversed it to out.
Right. I thought she was out originally. And then whenever they went back to the replay, that's just one of those calls that's super tough to get 100% right. It was very, very close. She looked safe. She looked out. At the end of the day, she was out, so they made their call.
Hey, right there, that is legit, right? They made their call. All right, so next matchup in the Super Regionals that you're looking forward to the most, and then give me a key or two for each team to come away with the win in that Super Regional.
So one of the ones I'm super excited about, like I just said, Mississippi State. Their matchup, both teams are unranked. Mississippi State is unranked, and Arizona is unranked. And Arizona's going into Starkville. Starkville is going to be a crazy environment. They don't have baseball to look forward to right now, so they're looking for something to go off of. And softball is the sport. I've seen so much stuff on social media about how they're preparing. They just built a whole deck in the outfield to be able to watch. Arizona's team hasn't been great this year, but they seem to just now be getting it all together. Their pitching is coming together. Their defense is coming together. I think this will be a more defensive game. And Mississippi State has Mia Davidson, who's their catcher, and she leads the SEC in career home runs right now with 91. So she's going to be really taking over the offense for them, I believe.
Great stuff there, Sydney. We're talking with Sydney Fields. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And Sydney covers softball for WCWS, Women's College World Series. But just remember those 4 letters, WCWS, add 24/7 to it. Go follow them on Twitter. Now, Sydney, great stuff, by the way. Next, in the next Super Regional, we've got 3, if I'm not mistaken, after doing some research, there's 3 matchups here that the teams have never played each other before in softball.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure which ones those are. I'm sure Oklahoma and UCF might be one of them.
They are. They absolutely are. And I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm going to go get my little notes up that I wrote up, and then we'll dive into that. But let's dig into the Oklahoma UCF. Does UCF have a chance against Oklahoma?
UCF is going to have to bring their best pitching to try to take over Oklahoma. Oklahoma's offense is, like we said earlier, they've outscored their opponents 500 to 47. UCF has a good pitching staff. Gianna Mancha and Kama Woodall are one of the top duos in the country right now. And UCF's Jada Cody, she had a fantastic regional. She hit 2 home runs and 2 at-bats against Villanova last weekend. She's going to have to do her thing at the plate. And UCF's just going to have to come out and take over Oklahoma's pitching. They're going to have to score a lot of runs to be able to take down Oklahoma.
Dude, honestly, when we talked about that stat to open up our segment, I don't think that there's anyone out there that's really going to be touching Oklahoma. I mean, you never know, right, in a 3-game set what's going to happen. But, yes, you are right. Oklahoma, Arizona State have never Oklahoma and UCF have never played each other. And then also you've got UCLA and Duke have never played each other. And then the other one is Oklahoma State and Clemson. So let's get into that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State, Clemson. Oklahoma State, if I'm not mistaken, took down Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship.
They did. This is actually Clemson's 3rd year as a softball program.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And,
that's so.
Yeah.
Is that not wild?
It's insane what they've been able to do in 3 years. And one of them was the COVID year, I'm pretty sure. So really just kind of 2.5 years. They're number 10 in the country right now. They have 3 phenomenal pitchers. And they were one of the 3 ACC teams this past weekend to throw a no-hitter. And they're just really good. Oklahoma State also is just fantastic. They did take down Oklahoma in the championship. And they have Kelly Maxwell, who is elite in the circle. Oklahoma State has the better offense. And Oklahoma State is 11-1 in tournament games at home. So it'll be hard for Clemson to go in there and take them down.
Sydney, can I ask you a question? Are you a baseball fan as well?
I am.
Okay, so let me ask you this. As a softball player, and I'll give you my opinion as soon as I ask the question. Which one do you think is harder to get a no-hitter in? My answer would be softball. I feel like it would be harder to toss a no-hitter in softball, even though there's more innings in baseball. But the reason why I say that is because those girls are so daggum good at hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So where's your head
at
on that?
I think softball on that one. The game is so much faster.
Faster, yes.
Everything moves faster in softball. Like with baseball, you've got sometimes a 3-4 hour game going on. Softball, usually the longest it'll be is maybe 2.5 hours. But it's such a fast-paced game. The base running paths are shorter. It's really hard even just to get to first base, to get an out at first base. And I think it's a lot harder for softball.
All right. Hey, Sydney, man, I hate this, but we're up against the break. Is there any way that we can get you back on next week and kind of cover what's going on in the Super Regionals?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Man, I wish we had more time to get into every single one today. You've done so great, Sydney. This was a lot of fun, for real. And I really do appreciate you, though, because y'all are bringing you and your website at WCWS 24/7 on Twitter. That's my go-to source. So I appreciate you and everyone else there. Sydney, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, we're going to be talking some more Bolts hockey with Tampa Bay Lightning brand development ambassador Andrew Weiss.
Yeah. Hey, Braves fans. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win weekly prizes from Slim Chicken, Rudy's Barbecue, That Boot Store, Guthrie's, and Rib Crib with Atlanta Braves Trivia. Step 1, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Braves Trivia. Step 2, answer trivia about a recent game. Step 3, score some tasty prizes and come home a hero. The Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Listen live on 104.3 in the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Here is your ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar, sir.
Oh, thanks. Wanna watch the game?
Ooh, little sports ball on a Sunday afternoon. Don't mind if I do. Hey, did we win? It sounds like we won.
It's still the first quarter.
I must be lucky. People say that about me. Tough break on that free throw there. Shouldn't be doing that.
Dude, we're watching football. Come on.
For everyone who spent the entire game explaining the entire game, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib radio room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back in, man. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. It's Kyle.
Why didn't you play the Lightning song?
The goal song, bro. And he even renamed it to what it actually is.
He did.
Crazy.
Just try again.
Awesome producer over there. Yeah, actually, I'm not a...
We'll catch y'all next Tuesday.
No, I'm actually cool with that, though. Like, you know what I mean? Just whenever I introduce Andrew, let's run into it, right? So we've got Kyle,
we learn
right?
as we go. I love you.
We've got Justin McGowan, a.k.a. J-Mac. I'm David Hayes. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. You can listen to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in a myriad of different ways. You can also listen to it on 102.1 in Marianna, Florida. But let's get to it, man. Tampa Bay Lightning with the sweep, man. What a series. Now they're looking on who's next, right? Hurricanes? Is it the Rangers? Rangers with a strong game last night. Let's bring Andrew Weiss into the studio. Andrew, what's going on, my buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Honestly, did you expect a sweep there against the Florida Panthers?
No. I don't think anyone, if you had told me before the series started, like right before the series started, the Lightning would sweep a very good President's Trophy winning, high scoring Florida Panthers team without Braden Point playing in any game, I would have laughed at you. I had confidence that the Lightning would win the series. It wasn't a lack of confidence. This is a very good team that has the experience. They've won back-to-back cups. You can't count them out. And they have the best goalie in the world in Andrei Vasilevsky. So, you have all these advantages. You feel confident that you can win any series. But this is still a Panthers team that last year took the Lightning to 6 games, and a lot of those games were close. A sweep? I don't know if I expected that, but I'm not going to complain. And considering they held a team that averaged 4 goals a game to only 3 goals over 4 games, that's the most remarkable part of the whole thing for me.
So I want to come back to Andrei Vasilevsky in just a moment because we obviously got to talk about the big cat when we're talking about that series because that was the major key player. But as we're sitting here getting resting up, getting healthy, watching New York and Carolina beat up on each other, do you think that there's an outside chance that we might be able to get Braden Point back, or have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything yet. I would like to see him back, of course. The Lightning are a better team when Braden Point is healthy and producing and making an impact on each and every game. The quotes from the recent media availability were interesting. I know they mentioned, getting the sweep is nice, get some more rest, get some time for guys to get healthy. I know Stamkos, after the sweep, during the handshake line, was being interviewed by Sportsnet. He mentioned how important Braden Point was, and how much he hated not being out there, and how much work he was putting in to try to get back to play. So if they're mentioning how much work he's putting in to get back to play, I mean, it could just be chess and mental mind games and all that. But my assumption would be that that's legit and that he's trying to get back in. He hasn't skated yet, and that's going to be a hurdle. So you're not going to really see a whole lot until he's back on the ice. But it would be interesting. I wouldn't overly be surprised if you saw Braden Point at least try to make an appearance within the next week or two.
You said it yourself, Andrew. 3 goals, 4 games. A lot of shots there for the Florida Panthers. How far is Vasi away, Andrei Vasilevsky? How far is he away from catching up to, and you're going to know a lot more about this than any of us in the studio, catching up to Patrick Waugh?
I mean,
or
what he's doing is just insane. He's not there yet.
Okay.
I love Andrei Vasilevsky, but he's not there yet. Overall, though, what he's doing is just insane. If you look at this year alone, his numbers, a .932 save percentage, a .222 goals against average. In the Panthers series, like we just said already, 3 goals allowed over 4 games. That's just stupid good numbers. And the Panthers averaged 4 goals a game in the regular season. In the cap era, the highest scoring team ever. So it's not like this is a team that doesn't know how to score. I will say that before the playoffs started, I did mention I think the Panthers were very reminiscent of the 2019 Lightning that got swept by Columbus just because they would outscore all their problems. Once the playoffs come around, you can't do that. And it caught up to the Panthers. But even with that said, it's not like Andrei Vasilevsky is only facing 3 shots a night. The man put on work. Like, look at this most recent game, Game 4. He goes in there. He's facing a barrage of shots. He had a 49-save shutout. I don't think we're talking about this enough. I know we're mentioning Andrei Vasilevsky in general in the media, but 49-save shutout. There are goalies that only see 25 saves a game. The average shot on net, or the average shots per game during the regular season is about 27. So you're nearly doubling that. You're very close to doubling that in one game, and he said no to every single one. All-time numbers, he's already had 57 wins. That's tied for 17th all-time in NHL history. If the Lightning go on and win the Cup this year, and I'm knocking on wood, so I'm not jinxing it, I'm hoping, everyone here is hoping, I'm sure, they'd love to see that. But right now, he's 8 wins away from tying Dominic Hasek, who many consider to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest goalie of all time in playoff wins. So that's 8 wins away for a guy that's only 27 years old. That's just stupid good. Patrick Waugh, 151 career wins. That's almost 40 more than second place Marty Brodeur. That's a very tough number to catch. So I'll be very cognizant of that. It's almost 100 more than Vasilevsky already has. So it's a tough number to climb to. But Vasilevsky, I mean, we saw it on TNT. They already have him. Rick Tocchet has him already on his goaltending Mount Rushmore as one of the 4 greatest of all time. And I think when his career is over, we can easily say that.
Let's go, man. We're talking with Andrew Weiss, Tampa Bay Lightning brand development ambassador. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Let me ask you a straight question, man. Me and my brother were kind of talking about it when the Lightning were playing the Panthers. Do you think the Lightning in Game 4, in a sense, took their foot off the pedal, or do you maybe think that in the locker room, Vasi was like, let them shoot at me? Like, don't worry about, y'all been blocking so great. Because I'm stuck in the middle on that, because the way that the game was going is kind of not what you're used to seeing from the Tampa Bay Lightning. They did get the W, absolutely. But so many shots. Do you think Vasi was like, hey, let's ramp it up for the next round?
No. The phrasing for a playoff series is that the 4th win is always the hardest to get. No team is ever going to purposely lay off a gas pedal. Like, I know people last year saying, oh, well, the Lightning should lose Game 4 against Montreal. That way they can win it at home, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they won it at home, but it took 1 goal from Ross Colton, and it was a hard-fought battle to the very end. Like, playoffs are no given. Like, you take any win you can get. So, with that said, I think what you really saw was just a Panthers team that had their backs against their wall, and they had to give everything they had, and they did. And Andrei Vasilevsky was still just better than them. And at the Panthers' very best effort, putting everything on him, even with the Lightning still blocking shots, they still had 49 shots on net, and Vasilevsky stopped every one. That just shows you how good of a goaltender he is, not just physically but mentally. Being able to stay in that game, being able to handle all of that. It's easy to forget as Lightning fans. We're so spoiled with how good this team is and how consistently good they are. But hockey is very almost always 50-50. Like, a lot of these teams, a lot of these games, it's so close. Like, even the advanced analytics, like, a player is very, very good if 55% of the time he's out there, he's got possession, versus 45% of the time he doesn't. Like, that's one of the analytics. That's Corsi, and that's almost 50-50, right, in the grand scheme of things. So to see a team dominate like the Panthers did, like, yeah, that's tough, but you have to remember that even when the Lightning are at their best, the Panthers are at their best. If it's all, if everyone's at their best and it's all said and done, it's usually close to even. So while you had some games where the Lightning have an advantage and some games where the Panthers have an advantage, you're never going to have a team as good where they're out shooting other teams 50-10 every single game. Like, the parity is so close in this league right now that you don't have dominance like that over the course of 7 games. So the Lightning, I think, outperformed the Panthers in some games. I think the Panthers outplayed them in Game 4, but goalie's part of your team, and Vasilevsky is just one of those guys that can completely change or seal a game, and he did.
I love it, man. That is actually a really fantastic answer. Let's get into the opposite side of things. If Florida was playing anyone else in the playoffs, that doesn't happen, right? Let's even, keep it. I know that we work our way through divisions and then Eastern Conference Final. I get all that. But if they were taking on the Rangers, and obviously, like you said, a hockey game, 50%. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, who's got the most heart that day and which goaltender is blocking the shot. But I have this strong feeling because, like you alluded to, the Panthers were playing really good hockey in that series, and some pucks just bounced the Lightning's way. If they were playing the Rangers and Hurricanes, what would you peg that series at?
So it's interesting to me you mentioned that the Rangers, and one of the reasons that, when you look at this next series, who do you want to play, I try not to pick a team because I think it's
I say Rangers because we haven't had them in our back-to-back run yet. So I would like to see us play the Rangers.
That's an interesting one. The thing for me is the Rangers worry me more only because of one reason. It's the same reason Lightning worry people, and it's goaltending. Yep. Exactly. Goaltending is such a big X factor. The Lightning they're very good. They blocked a lot of shots this series. They found ways to be productive when they could. Their power play and penalty kill are really good. But the X factor at the end of it all is Vasilevsky. If he's not on his game, they don't win games. If he's on their game, they win games. The Rangers are very similar in that they have a goalie that can steal games. The Hurricanes don't have that. The Panthers don't really have that with Bobrovsky. We saw the first round, Jack Campbell played fine for Toronto, but not great. They don't have that. A lot of these teams do not have that X factor goalie. You're even looking at West and watching Calgary and Edmonton. Calgary had a Vezina finalist for goalie of the year in Jacob Markstrom, and he's getting lit up every single night by Connor McDavid.
Dude, is that wild, though? Is that series wild to you, the Wild and the Oilers and the Flames?
No, it's just insane. What the Oilers are doing right now with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Evander Kane is just stupid good. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm really hoping it's just the teams they're playing and not the Oilers just deciding to just destroy everyone. But to get back to your question, I mean, it's interesting for the Panthers because the Rangers, my point with the Rangers was just that a goalie can steal a series no matter how badly your team in front of him plays. And I think you saw that sometimes with the Penguins series with the Rangers. But for the Panthers, like I said, that's a team that can outscore a lot of their problems. And we saw that in 2019 with the Lightning. And the issue for the Lightning in that year is the same issue for the Panthers this year. They ran into a team that was committed wholeheartedly to shutting them down first and foremost. And we know the Lightning can score goals. We know they have Kucherov and Stamkos, and they can put pucks in the back of the net. But they eat pucks like it's nobody's business. It's a all-you-can-eat buffet of pucks for the Lightning when the playoffs come around. And that's a team that can defeat a team that can outscore anyone. When you are wholeheartedly committed to defense, getting in shooting lanes, getting in passing lanes, the Panthers love that breakout offense, quick transition hockey, and the Lightning just didn't make that many mistakes that led to odd man rushes. And that's what cost the Lightning in the regular season against the Panthers. That 9-3 game in Sunrise on December 30th, I was there for that. It was my birthday. It sucked. They lost. They got blown out. It was not a fun birthday. But that was because, besides having AHL goaltending at the time, that was because they gave up so many odd man rushes, and they learned their lesson from that. They realized something that the Capitals realized last series, and even though the Panthers won it, the Capitals made it a lot harder for Florida to get opportunities on net, and they kind of started to set the tone. The Lightning fully bought it, and when you have a goalie like Vasilevsky, that's just game over. So to answer your question, I don't know many teams in the league right now that could do what the Lightning did. Maybe the Flames, if they were on their game, they're a good defensive team. Maybe the Stars, considering how Jake Ottinger played, the goalie for Dallas in round one. But not a lot of teams have that kind of X factor. I'd say the Rangers with Igor Shesterkin, but they don't have that same defensive commitment the Lightning do. So it's just sometimes the matchups don't favor you, and in this situation, the Lightning just had more will, more desire, and a little bit more gumption to block shots.
Andrew, we're coming up on a break, but I want to get real quick your picks for tonight. 2 major Game 5s, Oilers, Flames, Rangers, Hurricanes. Who you got and why?
Absolutely. I'm going to go Flames versus Oilers. I don't think that series can end just yet. We're having too much fun. I want to see that one go 6 or 7. And then the other one, Rangers and Hurricanes, another good series, tied up at 2. Honestly, it's a coin flip, but the Hurricanes, for some reason, are undefeated at home this year in the postseason and have yet to win on the road. I'd love to see that one go 7 just to continue those numbers and laugh at that. So I've got Hurricanes, I've got Oilers tonight. I've got Hurricanes, I've got Flames tonight.
Hey, let's go. Andrew, as always, man, such a pleasure being able to talk with you, man. You really know what it is that you're talking about. And we just try to seem like we know what we've got going on over here. But thank you so much, man. You have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you. When do you think the next series is going to start with the Tampa Bay Lightning?
I think the earliest I saw was, now that this series between the Rangers and Hurricanes are tied up at 2, I think the earliest I saw was Wednesday or Monday, depending on how long it goes. So my guess is probably between Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in that range.
Hey, enjoy your break, my friend.
Yeah, I will. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, no doubt, man. Let's get together before the next series starts, okay?
Perfect.
All right, let's go. That's Andrew Weiss. He's with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's a brand development ambassador. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to be right back with a little bit of Defend Your Stance. Only about 5 minutes or so, but we'll be back with it.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Dan Patrick Show.
We could go with, will Tiger ever win another major again?
I'm going to say no. I think he's committed to playing in the next two majors, but I don't know. I thought he would be stronger on this course. This course is difficult, but it's not difficult from the standpoint of walking the way Augusta is. But
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Weekday mornings 9 to 11, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Showers and thunderstorms in the overnight forecast. A weather front coming in, mostly cloudy near 70, a south wind 10 to 20. Developing sunshine for Friday, the high in the low 80s, southwest wind 10 to 15. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, 80 to 85, and more the same for Memorial Day. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Dr. Chad Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon, specializing in sports medicine and joint replacement of the knee, shoulder, and hip. He serves our local athletes and our community. Southern Orthopedic Specialist has been the leader in orthopedic care for over 20 years. New patients are welcome. Call 850-769-KNEE to schedule an appointment. More about Dr. Mitchell and Southern Orthopedic Specialist is available on their website, southernorthopedic.com. Southern Orthopedic, getting you back in the game.
That boot store reminds you, a special day is coming up for a special guy. Some call him father. Around these parts, it's usually daddy. And when he's around, there's a feeling of safety and security. This Father's Day, that boot store has the perfect Western outfit for that special guy. A gift card works great too. That boot store next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 9 a.m. to 5:30 on Friday and Saturday. Remember Joe's motto, keep your Heavenly Father first in your life every day.
It's the cooling season, and time to call Steverson Air Conditioning for your preventative maintenance to keep your air conditioning system operating at full capacity. Steverson Air Conditioning has preventative maintenance programs, and they service all makes and models. Steverson Air Conditioning offers air duct cleaning. Steverson Air Conditioning has after-hours service and free estimates on a system change-out or duct cleaning. Call them at 248-1109.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Is you ready? Ready? You say you ready? Whole squad ready? Ready? Is you ready?
I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. This 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, y'all. It's 4:45 right now. This is Defend Your Stance. It's brought to you by Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense, sponsored by Emerald Coast Damsel. 5:15, less than 30 minutes away. What is it?
Oh, Tim Braddock's in the house.
And what do we call that when he's in the house?
Oh, it's the real fishing report.
And we're not spelling that like everyone else out in the world.
No, we're doing it different.
It's the real.
The real
fishing report.
Real.
It's actually real.
Okay, over there. Like, what
Real.
country are you living in, brother? Straight
I'm going to cut his mic. It's early in the show, but I'm going to
Hey, June 4th
First
and
hour.
5th. No, not in Defend Your Stance. I know we only got 3 minutes here. Actually, I could, I've had a little practice now doing segments on my own. But no, we got about 3 minutes here. Let's get into it. June 4th and 5th, they're at the Bay County Fairgrounds there. So make sure you go check them out. They pity the fool who does not use our tool, or their tool, actually, rather the way I said it. Let's get into whose injury hurt their team the most, Kyle. Whose injury hurt their team the most in the NBA playoffs out of Joel Embiid, Chris Middleton, or Ja Morant? Which injury hurt the most?
The easy answer would be Ja, right? Right off the bat. But, I mean, you look at how good Memphis played without him the whole season, and that's a little bit more difficult to say. They actually put up a better fight against Golden State than anybody else has been able to do so far, including Dallas, who is going to lose tonight, and that series is going to be over. So I'm actually going to go with Joel Embiid, because you're looking at how vulnerable the Miami Heat really are right now in this Boston series, and the what-if question comes up. If Joel Embiid wasn't made of papier-mâché, are we seeing Philly versus Boston?
Papier-mâché is a little strong there.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
like, the dude's a stud.
He's
really,
definitely he's a beast, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't agree necessarily with papier-mâché there, but if he wasn't down for games 1 and 2, the way, like, the contortion that series takes on is not the same. It just does not happen the same exact way. However, I'm still glad that we've got this Heat-Celtic series. Let me let me take a left road here. I hate these NBA playoffs. It
terrible.
started out great. It started out great, right? It did. We've had great series. We've had great series like where games have, we're getting to game 6, we're getting to game 7, but every single game is a blowout.
Well, there's a blowout, and you know what, dude?
It's no fun.
There's been so many major stars that have gone out in these playoffs as well. Like, Boston had to play a couple games without Marcus Smart. Jason Tatum's been banged up. The Heat have gone the last 2 games without Tyler Hero.
Which they need. They need.
Luka was out for the first couple games of Dallas's playoffs. So Ja Morant goes down. Embiid, Middleton goes down. I mean, there's been big, high-profile injuries in these playoffs, and I think that's hurt a lot too.
So I think that I would – no, I can't. I can't agree with you on Joel Embiid because he only missed 2 games. We could be talking about a totally different playoff series here with Milwaukee had they had Chris Middleton in their round against the Celtics.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like if Giannis has someone that he can really depend on, if he can – especially because he's a perimeter shooter, right?
Right.
We could be talking about a whole nother situation. Instead, we're sitting here with what I conceive to be the better series, right? Bucks Heat, could be good, but these are 2 of the top defensive teams in the league.
You saw the tweet that Joel put out today, right?
What'd he say?
He said that the Magic need another star.
Magic needed another star.
Don't know what it means, but all I know is I felt like he was just
Maybe
trolling
he's just been
people.
watching a little bit too much Winning Time and talking about Magic needing another star to get even more championships for the LA Lakers. Because
I don't see Joel Embiid going to Orlando. I mean, that's like years
or
away
maybe he's talking
right?
about because they have number 1 overall draft pick.
They do have the number 1 overall
do.
pick. Are you telling us we have to go to break?
I am.
I don't think he's telling us. He's just playing the music to
You can just
suggest
verbalize
that.
it.
Nope.
Okay, okay.
Y'all hit your 2-step. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs.
To the left now. To the right. Now take the left.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This is unbelievable.
Looking ahead for the Atlanta Braves, they're traveling to Arizona next week. This weekend, the Marlins will be at Truist. And tonight, we finish a 4-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch at 6:20. Coverage starts at 6, right after the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Have you been to Jin Jin Super King Buffet? It's not your average Jin Jin. Well, here's what you're missing. Jin Jin Super King Buffet has competitive pricing, a great selection, extensive buffet options perfect for family dining. Menu options also include top quality seafood, hibachi and sushi bar, or select their mouth-watering crab legs by order. Bring the family out to Jin Jin Super King Buffet, located next to Wonderworks at 9802 Front Beach Road on Panama City Beach.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see him today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
For love of food, love of country. American Charlie Grill and Tavern is a new all-American eatery at the shops at Edgewater. From the local team that brought you Firefly, On the Fly, and more. Classic dishes that have become staples of our country for over a century. American Charlie Grill and Tavern is open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m. Daily happy hour from 2 till 6. $2 off all liquor, beer, and wine. Lots of TVs make it a great spot to watch all sports. Hope to see you soon at American Charlie Grill and Tavern.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. 102.1, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
There's no need to fear.
The Underdogs are here. The Afternoon Underdogs. Underdogs are on the air. Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. Time to let the big dogs eat. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep making noise. Keep making noise. Yeah.
Welcome in, man. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. It's one of... What's funny?
He loaded that up. Here we go.
Well, because I was almost going to be like, I was almost going to sing the song. And then you said, like, you're on. And I'm like, oh, my bad.
He loaded it up.
Okay, now, let's stop it right there, brothers. It's 5 o'clock, hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to talk about some top sports duos here. And I really like this, especially in the NBA playoffs where we are right now. Duos are essential to gaining games in the playoffs, right? So let's get into it. I'm sure that we're not sticking to one sport. This is a brain idea of Kyle Wright. Those are rare, but he gets them every now and again. And when he does, he utilizes them right here on the Afternoon Underdog.
I saw him writing down to remember to breathe
He doesn't
earlier.
write down. He freaking takes sidewalk chalk and writes on our walls, and I have to go back after him.
Well, I gave him crayons and he ate them.
Yeah, they were good.
That's what
They were delicious.
Right. He ate the crayons. Like, that's crazy.
The red one tastes the best. Well, listen, my brain made us smart for once, and I came up with this idea. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Grammatically, like my mom would just be slapping me. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy my parents don't listen to this.
Nobody does when you're on, buddy.
No, that's
I made
fair.
it smart.
That's fair. Garbage, some people would say.
No.
So we got the Memorial Day weekend. Top Gun's coming out this weekend. So in honor of Goose and Maverick, we were going to look. We just want to talk about some of the best duos.
Did you want to hate me as much as you possibly can right now? I've never seen the original Top Gun.
I've only seen it once, and then I mean, this is just everybody's favorite thing. So I figured if we shut up and we pretend like we love it, we don't have to talk about it after the segue. Because I'm not going to see this movie.
You're not. Wait, hold on, because I'm in the opposite side of the boat of you. No
Okay.
pun intended for our 5:15.
Opposite side of the boat.
But I've never seen it, but I want to see it to watch the second one because Old School loves that movie. And I'm going to say he's got questionable taste in his movies compared to me. You know what I mean? Because I don't like movies. I don't like TV and stuff like that. But I've been wanting to watch it just for that sake. So let's get into it. Top sports duos. What you got for me?
Well, I just want to talk about some of your favorites, really. I mean, do you have any down or do you have any notables? Because I've got a couple. Obviously,
my show prep today was
minimal.
As if you see my show prep today, for those of you who have ever been in here in studio, you see my show prep today and you're like, did you just forget who you were?
I don't think J-Mac and I have ever worked so hard in our lives.
Oh, I don't
for
even
that
want to
22
hear that.
minutes.
I don't even want to hear that.
There was a 22-minute leeway.
Let's get into stop.
Yeah, let's get into it.
It was one page and it was blank.
yeah,
I just want to bring that up. He wrote his name at the top of it.
Doesn't even have
Hey,
any
at least
paper.
I get credit for that, right?
Yeah, that's why I put a star on it.
My mom just logged in. There's the comment about my parents watching. So now I
See,
gotta
you
be a
have
good
to
kid.
watch. Brian Graham says you have to watch the original to understand part 2. I'm right there. Like, I want to watch the original before I even think about watching part 2. J-Mac, what's your disgusted looking face over there for? Or no, your look of disgusted. Oh, it was with a comment? It looked like you were disgusted with something I was saying.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
The night is still young.
Well, listen, I'm going to go into one of my favorite sports duos of all time.
I dislike it.
And I'm a Miami Heat fan, so obviously that big run where we had the boys down there in Miami, LeBron and D Wade.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Lonzo and someone else.
I'm a Miami Heat fan.
Lonzo was with the Heat. Lonzo was with the Heat back in the day. Yes, he was.
Oh, and to correct myself earlier,
Lonzo
Joel
Mourning.
said.
I thought you were talking about Lonzo
Oh,
Ball.
Oh, yeah. No, that was
Alonzo Mourning, of course.
Yes,
right,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
of course.
Yes. That was terrible on my part.
Lonzo.
So to correct myself earlier, I went back and right straight. Chris corrected me. It was the Heat. He said the Heat need
Say
another
that 3
star.
times fast one time.
I'm not doing any of that.
The Heat what now?
They need another star.
I mean, absolutely. You know what's funny? I guess this is going to completely derail the whole segment.
No, it's not. I'm fixing to put us back.
But I put it on Facebook last night that I was right about the Miami Heat, and it makes me sick because What
Just kidding.
happened?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was right about the
Why
Miami
are we
Heat.
worried about what a producer is doing?
I don't know, dude,
Talent's
because I
over
couldn't,
here.
because my voice
Talent's
went
over
down.
here. Let's focus this way.
Oh my goodness, what is going on, guys?
I don't know.
You guys been hanging out with the old Philly boys too much. You guys are all over me today.
Pure chaos.
Golly.
Hey, Caveman's always good at it. You know what I mean?
So, I was right about the Miami Heat because the thing that scared me all season was that number one, they were injury prone. Number two, we had no killers, other than Jimmy Butler, who I love Jimmy to death.
Regular season, he's not a killer.
No,
it's
Jimmy,
playoff time. They call him playoff Jimmy for a reason,
playoff
right?
Jimmy for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really, he needs to be playing second fiddle to somebody because Jimmy has proven time and time again that he can't sustain that. He gets hurt every time he tries to be that guy.
Pause.
Well, go ahead.
That's a hot take. No, that's a very hot take. And continue.
I understand that. And I understand. And I love Jimmy Butler, and I don't want that to come off as disrespectful.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But
Jimmy's not supposed to be the number one guy.
But as a Heat fan, as someone, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you're not going to hear that from a lot of Heat fans.
I'm extremely disappointed in Bam Adebayo. Extremely disappointed. He's playing soft as melted ice cream, and it's terrible.
Ooh.
He's been terrible in this series. He's been non-existent. And it sucks when you have a dude who's a former All-Star who every single Miami Heat fan out there was like crying that he wasn't first team all defense. He wasn't an All-Star this year. Of course he was hurt for a lot of the year, but we come here on the playoffs. We're playing against a team who's not very big, by the way. Other than now, I mean, their biggest players
Great defensively, regardless of they're big
great
or not.
defensively,
They're great
but they're not a very big team. And you want somebody like Bam Adebayo to be able to step up and play a little dominant basketball when his opposition on the other side is Al Horford, who is playing great in these playoffs, but he's like 75 years old. You want Bam Adebayo to be able to dominate that matchup, and he has not done it. And we're
talking about two different positions right there, in a sense,
Yeah.
right? Because Al Horford, more or less, like, he does be at the 5 sometimes, but most of the time he's at the 4, whereas Bam Adebayo is a 5, true 5.
Speaking
you know what I mean?
of matchups, about those duos, guys.
Yeah, no, you got me started. You mentioned the Heat. That was your fault.
And now you're trying to reel it back in. 5:15 for the real fishing report, y'all.
You're gaslighting me, by the way. All right, a couple other sports duos we want to highlight, right? Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. I don't think Scottie Pippen gets a lot of credit for. I think from people like you who are like more LeBron supporters, I think those are the biggest Scottie supporters ever, right? But he deserves his credit, right?
He absolutely does.
Come on,
Mike
man,
didn't
that
win a
guy's
playoff
great.
series until Scottie got there.
I mean, and that's 1,000. Like, we can sit here and talk about what ifs and all of those things, but like these are facts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Scottie Pippen comes, Michael Jordan's career took a whole new level. Now, a lot of credit's got to go to Phil, though. Phil Jackson.
Absolutely.
Because you don't win 3 in a row 3 times. He got the 3-peat with LA, right? Right? He got the 3-peat with LA, right?
Yeah.
You don't get that 3 times by some happenstance.
No.
You don't do that with different play. Like, of course, you've got the Michael Jordan. I'm not going to disrespect Kobe like that. You've got a guy who followed the example that Michael Jordan and followed the shot. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he molded it exactly. Like, because you can watch a video of Mike take Kobe in that same instance, and you can watch a replay with 2 different players. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen just off of pure coincidence. It doesn't happen like that.
No, not at all.
So another sports duo for me would probably be, let's take it back to the Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison. I'm shooting straight from the head.
That's a good one.
That's
a very good one.
That's got to be one of the best. And I don't have stats in front of me or whatever, but you talk about cohesion, chemistry. Yeah, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison was one of the greatest duos, if not. It's up there. It's up there in the world of NFL.
I've got
in the world of the NFL.
I've got one that was kind of short-lived, but they had the single greatest quarterback wide receiver combo season of all time, and it was Brady Moss.
Can real quick, Brian Graham with a great text here or a great comment on Facebook. Scotty and almost made the NBA Finals by himself. Now that's the key, right? Almost made the NBA Finals. We're not talking about making the NBA Finals and giving these like accolades that we give to LeBron James for like, oh, you made it like 12 times in a row. Like, and it's probably a larger amount than that. You know what I mean? But it's about getting over the hump and winning. But totally, he's 100% correct. Scottie Pippen was a great player because even when Michael Jordan was sitting there playing baseball, he still got them there. They were one player away. Now, obviously, that one player that was gone, pretty big deal. But who knows if they had added someone in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was a role player to another extent.
If you didn't bail on him like almost last minute before the season.
Okay, now I'm not going to.
So we got football, we got basketball. I'll get baseball.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. Those two dudes were unstoppable.
If we're going duo in baseball, we got to go Wainwright and Yachty. That's
Wainwright and Yachty.
That battery.
That's a very, very good one.
Got to go battery if you're going duo, because outside of this one, hold up, check me out on this. King Griffey Senior, King Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
because
that
of
was a
something
good one.
that's never been done. And I like what you're saying, though. I do. But when you're talking about duos or whatever, you're talking about they help each other or whatever. You know what I mean? And so with Randy Johnson,
I looked at it as like they help the team more than each other.
You know what? Let me shut my mouth and I'm opening my mouth to shut my mouth. Does that World Series happen for the Arizona Diamondbacks taking over the hated New York Yankees and to beat them with that bloop single by Luis Gonzalez? Does that happen without the pitchers that you have, like what you mentioned in Randy Johnson?
Combined, they threw 7,991 strikeouts in the 4 years they were together.
Holy cow, dude.
Golly.
Yeah, like I did a little bit of homework on this one because I wanted to have that one good moment, and this is it. So
you did good.
Yeah.
You got stats and everything.
See y'all next week.
I'm coming right back to you, and I'm sorry for interrupting as well. Brian Graham says Kane and Taves with the Chicago Blackhawks, Patrick Kane and Taves there, and then he also says Thomas and Konerko. So I'm imagining he's talking about Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, and Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo.
I'm gonna go a little homer pick here too. Back there for a while, it was Votto and Brandon Phillips over on the right side of the infield for the Reds, and I mean that was pretty elite.
I can't sit here and say this with facts. I gotta give Brandon Phillips the credit for the Atlanta Braves wearing yellow as much as they do. You know what I'm saying? Like sleeves, cleats, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that was happening until Brandon Phillips.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy.
Yeah, break.
But I'm going to vocalize it this time.
We got 12.
Yes,
What?
12 minutes.
Okay, fine. We're taking a break, man. J-Mac just runs the whole show now. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. Real Fishing Report coming up, so don't you even leave this station right now.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying with ESPN Northwest Florida. Please return to your seats, buckle up, and prepare for launch.
He struck him out. Max Fried leaves the bases loaded.
The defending world champion Atlanta Braves are sponsored by PCB Coins and Cards, Guthrie's Fit Culture, Panama City Toyota, Brock's Pest Control, and ESPN Northwest Florida. And we apologize for any turbulence you've experienced this season with the Atlanta Braves.
Showers and thunderstorms in the overnight forecast. A weather front coming in, mostly cloudy near 70, a south wind 10 to 20. Developing sunshine for Friday, the high in the low 80s, southwest wind 10 to 15. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, 80 to 85, and more the same for Memorial Day. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
The brand new Burger King in Weewa Hitchka is looking for managers and team members. You'll get to use your smile and personality and get paid for it. You'll be responsible for getting guests excited about their experience every day at Burger King. You'll get to work in a safe, productive environment that allows employees to thrive and advance with career opportunities. Burger King promotes from within. They offer training and development, flexible schedules, employee meal discounts, and scholarship opportunities. Burger King is an equal opportunity employer. Interested job seekers should text 007-8075 to 31063 to apply. Must be at least 16 years of age.
Let your adventures begin in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on a new purchase of the 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorento. Bill Bird Kia is not only the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're also the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. KMForPurchase.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for purchase of a new 2022 Forte K5, Soul, or Sorrento with $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billbird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/31/22.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. Hot takes, the latest trades, in-depth interviews.
That is my reaction.
We break it down for you right here.
Very big springboard for the rest of my career.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's the problem right there.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you can't tell, man, we just have fun in here. And you know what is one of the most fun things to do?
What's that?
Go fishing.
Maybe
No
turn
doubt.
people's mics on.
No
That's
doubt.
my favorite thing.
Yeah. Well, if they're misbehaving, we'll turn them off.
Yeah, but that's only
just
going to
mute
come
'em.
from this side of the board. Like, right here, we've got the legitness out of Tim Braddock.
The real fishing report.
The real. And when I say that, because people commented back and they were like typing in the industry standard.
REEL.
That's.
We are the REAL.
Come on.
The real
We're
fishing
like,
report.
Tim keeps it real.
No
First off.
fugazi.
And he's very punny. If you haven't realized that.
He's the punny guy.
He is a very punny guy.
I think you have to be in studio to appreciate all the puns.
You do, because of facial expressions, right?
I'm also, yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
Oh, he was gonna do it. I think
I thought he was gonna do it.
We're going to do it.
Oh, man.
But we're going to let it be.
Hey, listen, y'all. 850-215-6290. If you have any questions for Tim, if you have any text,
Please.
comments, whatever, you don't mind, right?
I don't mind at all.
All right,
Let's talk
so
fishing. I mean, there's
let's
plenty
talk it.
to talk about.
All right, so let's get into the fishing report. The real fishing
report. Let's talk about this Memorial Day coming up, time of remembrance. We'll do the little 1 minute blurb through the weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that. But any of y'all have a great fishing memory? What's your greatest fishing memory?
Wow, dude. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
First time I ever pulled up, like, if I say the word cowfish, what does that remind you of?
Cowfish.
Right, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we were on the marina right there, St. Andrews, and I felt like I just caught an alien. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would say that one, like, outside of the first fishing memories, like, you know, the first time you catch a fish, that one was just so,
that's weird.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting over here fishing for, like, pinfish and whatnot as a youngin', and then I get this thing that
You
looks
caught a
like
cowfish.
he just came from Mars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know what a cowfish is, Google a cowfish. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
My best fishing memory. Like, this is my all-time favorite memory because I tell the
He
story
got
a
a
lot.
tire.
Boom, got him.
Got him. I was fishing actually at Frank Brown Park. They got this little pond in the very back.
Oh, I got another one after this.
And they used to be really good to fish, but it's out of hand now. They took all the lily pads out, so there's nowhere for the bass to hide.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't know where they're at now. So I mean, a big bass. I knew it was big when I was pulling it up, but it was, you never know until you pull it out. I didn't have a scale with me or anything, but I think he may have been about 4.5, 5 pounds to this day. Snapped off my line as soon as I got him up to the shore. Went in after him. And I grabbed him.
You got him.
I was able to grab him.
You actually got a hold of him.
I jumped in on my knees and I was able to grab him.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
And that's one of my favorite.
That's
Every time, dude. Every time. I'm telling you, it was such. Well, he was obviously not in the water still,
Right, 'cause
or he would have
he's
darted
like,
out.
you-
He was
yeah.
halfway in, halfway out on the mud, but I went right in onto the mud. And
That sounds skeptical.
yeah, I mean, go ahead. That's fine. I understand.
Mine was when COVID. Remember, the 2.5 weeks they shut
got
us down for
COVID,
COVID.
and that you're gonna brag
Yep.
about catching.
I mean, it took a lot of bait.
That's a hell of a
my buddy was working for the TI down there, and when they shut them down, they took all the employees fishing.
Yeah.
Well, so that he took me with him. So we spent 3 days, went 50 miles out, and that was my first trip offshore ever.
Oh man,
It was a 3-day trip.
How'd
and
that go?
It was so much fun. We caught so
Oh,
much
you're talking
fish.
about when you did the shotgun?
Yes, the Texas beer pop.
Oh, I shotgunned it.
Wait,
Well, I gotta show
do
you
you know what a
this.
Texas beer pop is?
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
So what do you utilize to open the beer can?
Little blade.
No,
Up on the bottom?
That's a
No.
shotgun. No, we were watching this in the in the break.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is different.
So-
I've never done. I never seen nothing like this, bro.
I'm pretty sure I just made it up because that's what I do.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a shotgun. Like you said, Texas beer pop.
Yeah, it's so my buddy Chops we were out there and they were all shotgunning beers like the way y'all do it in
Hey, we're
Florida.
trying to talk about fishing,
Oh,
man,
sorry,
not
go
shooting.
ahead. No, it's fine, it's
Goodness
fine.
gracious, dude.
It's sporting events.
Tim.
But you got to tell us what happened.
I'll show you.
I mean,
I'll
I've got
show
a
you.
short thing cigars hat on.
There.
You cannot leave me hanging. I've got look, this is my toolkit for the shop. There's a beer opener, a bottle opener from ESPN 104.3.
Hey.
Right beside my clippers.
We
So we have to hear.
LFG.
So we have to hear how this happens.
And
Because I thought it was a.
So
I thought
you're
you
gonna
said a
hear
Texas
it. You're gonna
shotgun,
hear it,
and this is
then you're
completely
gonna
different.
see it. No showing. No, we're not watching videos here. You're explaining the
I
rest
don't
of
think
your
our
story.
audio listeners would
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're explaining it audibly.
So basically,
Then we're
as they
showing
were
it
all
visually.
sticking their keys in their bush lights and chugging them,
Yeah.
I pulled out a real beer, a Miller Lite,
Yeah.
and then pulled out my 9mm and shot the top off the beer and chucked it.
Oh yeah, I've never.
Hey, until
yeah.
Miller Lite's paying
Yeah, that's
us.
legit.
Yeah. Oh, I've been paying
That
them
was the
for
last
years.
time. I know we've been paying them. But I'm
Years.
saying, like, until they start paying them, we're just gonna call
Actually,
them.
they sent me a thank you note for their light bill last month. So
Was it
that's
LIGHT or
LITE. Thanks
All
for
right,
the light.
Let's
Back
move
on track to the
Exactly.
fishing.
You see what you do, Kyle? You
I don't
derail
know,
us
like,
every
Tim,
time.
What do you like
do
better, like
anything
the
this time.
scrambled kind of assortment that you're running in today, or do you like when it's more normal?
Oh, scrambled is when it's I walked in with a hat backwards. I knew. I just had that feeling when I walked in the door. It's going to be a fun day.
Let's go.
And that happens when you go fishing too.
True.
You
Right,
know,
right.
every time we go offshore, we do 12 to 16-hour trips, and we usually just do an open boat with friends and customers that I know. And so it's always a crapshoot of who's going to gel and what's going to happen. And I can guarantee you there's beer drunk, cigar smoke, and lots of fish caught. So it's always a good
It's a
time.
trifecta every single time you get out there.
Yeah, so, trying to remember which one's the most memorable sometimes isn't easy. They've all been great.
I wasn't even ready for that, dude. You're gold, bro. You're gold.
He gave us the pro answer. They were all real fun.
They're all real
They were
fun.
real fun.
And the pun, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's talk a
So
little
many,
bit of
I would
fishing.
say that I probably catch 50% of your puns. That's how good your puns are.
Yeah. I've been told they're intellectual puns.
They are.
True
They
story.
really are.
Oh, that means smart people puns, Kyle.
Yeah.
Very fundamental.
Well, yeah, very fundamental.
I love it.
Kyle's a therapist, so he tends to listen to it all.
A big time therapist.
So let's talk about some actual fishing in the area. Into Amberjacks coming up May 31st. So that's happening real soon. Gag Grouper opens June the 1st, which is great. And probably one of the most talked about, I guess, around the shop is federally permitted boats can start keeping snapper June the 1st. So those are a lot of the for-hire charters out of the Captain Anderson area. If you got a Destin, a lot of those guys are federally permitted, which means June 1st you can go catch snapper. So hire those guys up.
That's Wednesday, right?
That's Wednesday.
Wednesday wins.
Yeah, I've got our first one on the books for June the 5th with Charter Boat Freedom, and we'll give a good report off that. That's always a fun time. So again, lots of good things. Amberjacks coming to an end. They're fun to catch. They're a lot of work. We call them reef donkeys for a reason. But looking forward to the next couple weeks, particularly in the fishing world. Offshore, on the fishing report, the season has been a little rough this week. We talked about that. We still have had a bunch of successful reports, though, of fish actually being caught. We've also had a few wahoo being reported in this week, so which was a pleasant surprise. They've had a little bit of difficulties trying to troll for them with all the grass that's out there. So we've talked about that a little bit in the show,
Right.
but it's made trolling difficulty. But they've been able to, troll around the fads that they find and able to go catch some wahoo. So inshore, all the flats just continue to be on fire. Talked to quite a few charter captains, both between Okaloosa Bay and St. Andrews, West Bay, North Bay area. Every one of them are reporting good numbers on catching redfish and trout on the flats. I think a lot of that has to do with the rain and the cloud cover that we've had. It's helped keep the water temps just a little bit cooler. And we look for that to continue throughout the weekend. So
Can I ask a question about cloud cover? Does that help the fish bite? I know in bass fishing somewhat, you know what I mean? Sometimes when the cloud is covering, you have a little bit better of a chance. In, let's say, inshore fishing in the bay, does that help?
So when cloud cover comes in, there's a lot more complexity to consider. So we actually change a lot of times colors of lures or artificial bait that we're using. And it depends on the purpose of the cloud. So,
wow.
In other words, if a front's moving through, it's any change in barometric pressure, usually within 0.3 to 0.4 points, we tend to see those fish quit biting. So what happens is, obviously, as the clouds are moving in or as the front's coming in, at that point, the fishing tends to get a little bit better just before the front moves through. It's very similar to deer hunting, or one of my favorites, duck hunting. So it's it's very similar in that nature. We tend to switch from like clears and copper colors to what we call cool water colors. So we start seeing pinks, chartreuses show up in the artificial. That's where we like a 4 or a 5-inch gulp shrimp with a chartreuse tail, usually under that cloudy water. If they're fishing from surf or surf fishing, we tend to switch people to pink and chartreuse at that point. Again, there's a little bit more complexity than just saying, "Oh, it's going to be cloudy out today."
Because it changes like.
But you have to, the ultimate summary is you look at the purpose, or why is the cloud cover here? If it's going to be sustained, at that point, we actually may see a decrease in fishing, not necessarily an increase in fishing. So again, in that case, I tend to personally watch barometric pressure to see what the actual change is in the weather.
What do you utilize to keep up with the barometer?
Yeah, so I use an app called Fish Angler.
Okay.
It tends to be pretty technical in nature. I fish a lot off moon rise, moon underfoot, and then moon set. And Fish Angler takes into account tides, both high tide and low tide. It takes into effect, or gives you a reading on general fish activity, which is solely by the lunar phases. So at the end of the day, you can basically take 6 different graphs and just nerd out on fishing, and get more of a complex reading of, okay, this is when I want to go. Sometimes, though, I tell people that they begin to think too much about it, and they're like, man, I'm not going to go today because all the charts, the graphs don't look right. And rule number 1 to fishing in our shop is go when you can.
Go when you can.
We've caught a lot of fish when you weren't supposed to. So just go fishing when you can, man.
That kind of takes me back
when
to
you
one of
got
my
the
favorite
opportunity.
Fisher memories.
Oh man, surf fishing real quick.
Yeah.
It's been another good week for Pompano on the surf fishing.
They've been on fire lately.
Well, we saw a decline last week. This week we've had several good solid mornings. This morning in particular, I also would say that Saturday morning and Sunday morning both would be great times right at sunrise to get out and fish. And sand fleas, again, are abundant. We talked a little bit about that last week. We have found sand fleas by the thousands down there in Inlet Beach. So if you can't find them, take the drive down to Inlet Beach. They're everywhere down through there.
But the best place to get them is
at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. So if you don't catch them live, we do stock them frozen. Everybody asks. There's a great debate which is better, frozen or live.
Opine on that for us.
Well, I'll opine on it a little bit. So if you watch YouTube heavily, almost every YouTube superstar in their own mind will tell you that live sand fleas are the best. They're easy to get in a lot of cases for people. They're readily available. I have personally I've been down here 18 years. About 3 years ago, I switched to using only frozen sand fleas.
Wow.
Buying a bait shop obviously
helps
with that
a little bit.
But the sand fleas that we get in particular are sourced locally. So the guy that brings it, his name's Guy Ward.
Wow.
From Panama
the guy.
City.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm being serious.
No,
the guy.
No pun there. The guy. And but he's a commercial pompano fisherman, and it's the exact same sand fleas he uses. So they're blanched. They've got a pink tint to them. They also stay on your hook better. So it's a great debate for me. At the end of the day, usually when I'm surf fishing, I'm going out there to catch fish and have a good time. So I'm ready to bait my hooks as soon as I can. I won't have to look for fleas or go dig around. I'm ready to bait my hook, light my cigar, sit in my chair, and usually within 15 minutes I got my first bite at least. So
what's the weather going to be looking like this
Yeah,
weekend?
the weather.
Or wait, we haven't got into the product focus yet.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the products
Let's get into
pretty
it.
quickly, particularly because the inshore bite's been great. Do want to give a shout out to the very first way, we're talking about memories, the very first way I learned to fish in the Florida Panhandle was 18 years ago. This is back when I said Pompano Street rather than Pompano Street.
Yeah, right.
I wore Wranglers when it was 90 degrees outside in cowboy boots.
Last time you did that, or I don't know, because sometimes you gotta do some yard work. You gotta get out there in the Wrangler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes I still wear jeans in the summer, but yeah, I wear
Rarely,
flip flops and shorts now.
Yeah.
I'm out of all that, but popping corks. So the very first way I learned was a popping cork. Do you know what a popping cork is?
Yeah, like the cork that's on a leader, basically, and when you it pops.
Perfect. I love the action, the motion. I mean, you got it down pat. So
I wouldn't say I got it down pat, but
corks you can buy anywhere from 89 cents up to $10. And so let's talk about the cork for just a minute.
Into it.
Yeah, I mean, what makes the difference? My personal favorite cork is a cork called the Cajun Thunder. It's been around for a long time.
That's what I use. Cajun Thunder.
The old Cajun Thunders. I think most people around here are very familiar with. Everybody asks about colors. They come in like yellow, pink, green, orange. Yellow tends to be my favorite. It's easiest to see, particularly later evenings, which is usually when I'm fishing a popping cork. So live shrimp is by far the number one bait to put up under a popping cork. The entire purpose of that cork is to give off the sound of the mimic bait fish in distress, right? So that's what the beads are there for. And then obviously your shrimp's dangling 18 to 24 inches underneath it. And so, we put those live shrimp under it. And then I do want to give a shout out. That's the old Cajun Thunder.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
DOA shrimp or fake shrimp or whatever.
There we go.
Does that work underneath a Cajun Thunder, or should it be live bait to give you the best chance at landing the fish you want to land?
So the live bait's going to give you the most activity. When I have customers come in the shop, I ask them off the bat, do you want activity or you want to target something you can keep and eat? Typically, if they have kids or people who haven't fished a whole lot, they want activity.
Right.
So live shrimp off the bat. We're going to go into a phase where live shrimp is going to be a little bit difficult to get. And when we do get it, the pinfish will be so active. It's so hard to keep the live shrimp on, right? So we do switch to a lot of new penny gulp this time of year. DOA is another fantastic shrimp, artificial shrimp that we use.
What would you recommend if like, you're a bait shop owner?
Yep.
DOA, or is there another local option that we have to use?
Yeah, so on the plastic side, I don't have a local source.
Okay.
But on the popping cork side, there's a company out of Fort Walton Beach that we use called Send It Corks, and makes a Send It corks.
That sounds even better than Cajun Thunder.
Yeah, just
Come
send
on
it
with it.
Just send it.
Exactly.
Send it.
Uses a stainless steel shaft on his with the foam cork, and it's weighted, and it's a great product. He makes them in a shallow water pop and a deep water pop, and we carry both in shop. So
I'm intrigued there, like the difference in the pops.
So shallow water, we typically use that in 4 to 6 feet. The deep water pops we'll use anywhere from, we use them in 20, 30 feet worth of water.
Right. Wow.
So
I did not know that. Like you asked me earlier if I knew what the popping cork was. Like I know that, but I didn't know there was two different types.
We get asked all the time too, popping corks from surf, right? So I've talked to a couple guys that have at times used way to get their bait out. The kind of the old school method is they would take a kite with a balloon, helium-filled balloon, and a separate rod, and they would tow their bait out with that kite and that little helium balloon, similar to what you see them do for swordfish offshore.
Yeah, I got you.
But they were physically doing this from shore.
Wow.
And but now we have drones. Why not just go buy a $600, $800 drone?
Do you do that?
No.
No.
He said no. I have lots of friends that do. So
do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch and be involved with. Yeah.
What about ever putting like a GoPro on the fishing line when the line is down in the water? Have you ever done something like that or been around it?
I personally have not. There is several Panhandle local YouTubers. One of those is going to be Tony Fagiano with Fish Gum. He's well known for putting a GoPro on the end of his 2-hook rig. And you can physically, if you go follow Tony, you can physically see the pompano come in and hit a 2-hook rig and things like that. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a pretty neat perspective,
right?
To see the fish actually come in, hit the bait, hit the rig, and then go back. In some cases, it's physically dragging that GoPro out. So there's a lot of neat toys out there. We'll focus in some more on that during the product segments, but there's some fun. There's some drone boats that are out there. There's a couple different types.
Drone boats?
Boats, yeah. So you
like
have
a remote control boat, but it's called a drone?
Correct.
Wow.
You have some that are RF driven, so it's off radio frequency, remote.
That's the difference in a boat and a drone.
And a flying drone.
Wow.
Correct. So you have some that are, remote controlled, and they're capped out at about 500 yards. Then you have some that are here in the Panhandle. A couple of my professional tour fishers or guides use them to shark fish with. And they're satellite driven. So it sends a signal to the satellite. They put a waypoint on their phone. So in theory, this boat could go from Panama City to Mexico if the battery life would last long enough across the Gulf. So it's some pretty cool stuff.
Tim, we are
way over time.
Wow. This is all me, not
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying? Anything else that you got, that you have to divulge in before we...
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you do, if you want to try fishing, if you love to fish, this weekend is it. Your weather's great. We got great seas forecast. You'll have to navigate traffic. So my suggestion is go to your local bait and tackle shop. Try to find out, hey, where should I go fishing? They're pretty good at divesting people in areas where it's not, concentrated. So go visit your local bait and tackle shop. And other than that, thank God for the country we live in, the men that paid the sacrifice, men and women that paid the sacrifice so that we could sit here and do this in freedom.
Amen.
So,
wow.
Love it.
Yep.
Wow. Like, way to, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you have a better ending there? And then also.
Live free.
Tomorrow, exactly.
Yep.
Like, man, we take it for granted so often. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. If you didn't get enough here, you can hear a summary of what we're talking about tomorrow at 6 a.m. right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Justin's about to slap me in my face right now because I've went over so long, but I appreciate it, man. It doesn't get better than what we just had.
No, you just got to let that one go.
Man. We're going to be right back, y'all.
ESPN Northwest Florida. here's what's happening.
Have you seen our big billboards in Bay County? Well, we have a chance for you to win a supersized prize pack almost as big. With 11 gift cards, you'll be eating, drinking, shopping, and going on adventures all over Bay County for free. Just take a picture of one of our big billboards, post it on Facebook, and tag ESPN Northwest Florida for your chance to win. More details at ESPNPC.com.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Chattanooga has its choo-choo and the Orient its express. But did you know that your car has a train of its very own? When I come back, I'll tell you all about it.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Speeding locomotives have nothing on you. Even energy on Soul Train can't match that of your drivetrain. Okay, enough hinting. Drivetrain refers to all the pieces that together deliver power from engine to wheels. We're talking clutch, torque converter, CV joints, differentials, universal joints, and transmissions. Just like the hip bones connected to the leg bone, all these parts work in concert. And although you don't have to shovel coal to fire them up, like all trains, you do have to schedule maintenance. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You guys for listening. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. It's 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Kyle just gave me some crazy look. Not entirely sure what that was for, but
I don't either. I don't know what you're
we just had the real fishing report with Tim Braddock, with Bay Breeze, bait and tackle. Oh, he's checking out the video of things we can't even speak about. Things we can't even speak about.
Learn something new every day.
But what we can speak about is, in the next segment, Kyle, break it down. What are we going to be doing? Because high school sports now, you had Liberty County Fall yesterday in softball to Jay. There's really not a whole lot for my local high school spotlight as much. I'll try to do whatever I can. If you guys got local athletes that would love to get on the show, bada bing, bada boom, send them my way. But
so
what we got?
In the next segment, we're going to take a look at the Vegas Sportsbook odds that dropped a couple days ago for the favorites for NFL MVP and NFL Coach of the Year. And there are some very, very surprising names at the top of these lists.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow is obviously the
number
NFL
one
MVP,
yeah.
comeback
MVP.
player of the year and MVP. But what?
It was a joke.
It's
Oh,
a joke, yeah.
I was about to say, first off, if you're giving away the #1 answer on the list, trash.
Right, garbage, right.
Like, we're teasing the segment for the next segment. And then, obviously, I'm like, Tim Tebow, what's he doing on any list?
No, so, I mean, I was looking at the list for the MVP candidates. I mean, there's some obvious names up there at the top, but the biggest surprise is the one at the very top, which we'll get into in the next segment. But the Coach of the Year list, the #1 is not a surprise, but 2 through 5 are, like, mind-blowing.
So you're telling me that Dabo Swinney is at the top of the list?
For the NFL Coach of the Year?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Him and Tebow are taking it
Him
all.
and Tim Tebow are in it. And
That's
Urban
kind of where
Meyer.
that's kind of where I was getting at. It's just like off the radar. You know what I mean? Off the radar. But if we take a break now,
we can.
I know
more
we
time.
just got done taking one, but if we only get one more left. If we do
That's
it
right.
now, we get a little bit more.
Pay the bills. Let's finish strong.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Well,
I wouldn't. I feel good.
Weather in Northwest Florida can change on a dime.
Gale force winds bombarded with heavy rain.
That's why 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most up-to-date forecast on the Gulf Coast. Hi, this is staff meteorologist Tim Root with over 40 years of experience. I know just how fast we can go from sun and fun to a serious situation. For the most accurate and detailed weather when it matters, rely on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Showers and thunderstorms in the overnight forecast. A weather front coming in, mostly cloudy near 70, a south wind 10 to 20. Developing sunshine for Friday, the high in the low 80s, southwest wind 10 to 15. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, 80 to 85, and more the same for Memorial Day. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Get ready for your next adventure and drive away today in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family at Bill Bird. Check out the new 2022 Kia Souls, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. And if you're looking for a sedan, Bill Bird Kia can put you in a brand new 2022 Forte, a K5, or a Stinger. Always online at BillBirdKia.com. Stop by and see us today at your exclusive home for that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who will listen with understanding and care. The expertise you're looking for starts with your local agent, Johnny Ellis, appointed by Progressive Insurance. As members of the community, we live and work right next door. It's that personal touch that stays with you and your budget. Great coverage is at your service. Call 850-763-1627 or visit ellisagency.net today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, this is Matt Lewis with Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. We offer comprehensive diagnostics and repair service for all types of hydraulic units, such as hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders, hydraulic pumps, motors, and valves, as well as a broad range of hydraulic hoses and O-rings. Give us a call at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions at 850-326-3000 for any of your hydraulic needs. Or come see us on Commercial Drive off Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
it is the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, also 102.1 FM in Mariana area.
Crystal clear up there. I'm heading up there after the show.
Clear. I thought you were hanging out with us. I thought we talked to Rachel.
I can't say the name of the place you guys are going.
No, you're not talking about nothing other than sports.
Other than sports. But
let's talk about some odds. How does that sound?
Ooh, let's talk about the odds. Never tell me the odds. A quote from the great Han Solo. I guess he would be the late Han Solo.
Is that from Star Trek Wars?
Yeah, it's from Star Trek Wars. Your favorite.
Yeah.
He drives the Millennium. What was the name of the ship from Star Trek?
I don't know, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun.
The Millennium Enterprise.
Yeah, there was the Hans Solo, Hans Gruber.
You're making fun. Hold on.
Hans Gruber.
I have a big problem
Chewbacca.
with this. You're making fun of Star Wars where you know what's actually going on.
Yeah, Han Duo.
Yeah, Han Duo.
Don't make fun of it.
Foot Duo.
You're
Foot
either
Solo.
a fan or you're like me who is clueless.
I'm clueless.
Let's get into the odds, man.
All
I'm
right.
sick of talking about these freaking TV shows and whatnot.
So just to go over the odds here. So there are some odds. The top 5 odds, the odds-on favorites for the NFL MVP this year. I'm going to start with number 5, and we're going to get to number 1 because number 1 is super shocking. Number 5, Aaron Rodgers, 3-time MVP. Maybe surprising.
Get out of here.
You don't like it?
He's not.
That he's
I know
that
you
low
didn't
or
come
that
up with
he's
this list. No.
Okay.
No, he's not getting it. Who's he throwing to? Bro?
That's the key, right?
Come on.
I mean,
Christian Watson may become like the next Devontae Adams. It's not happening this year, bro.
No. Sammy Watkins maybe can have a breakout
Like
season
you
if he
said,
can stay
hold
healthy.
up. 3 weeks in a row. this will make 3 weeks in a row. Who's winning the NFC North?
Minnesota.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Exactly. You ain't winning the MVP. Aaron
That would be
Rodgers.
my dark horse, actually. Kirk Cousins on that list.
Come on with
To
it,
talk
bro.
about
The
that.
year he had last year,
Yeah.
so underrated. No one's giving him the credit for. It's always like, whatever.
He gets too much
Move on.
blame. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
number
I'm sorry.
4, Joe Burrow. Shouldn't be shocking that he's in the top 5 at all. I mean, coming off a phenomenal season.
I could even put him higher.
I was gonna say I would honestly maybe put him at number 2 over.
Well, I got to hear the rest of the list.
yeah,
'cause
right.
I don't know the list.
Right.
But
Number 3, Patrick Mahomes, which this is shocking that he would be in the top 5. Maybe this is because of a namesake, but losing everything that he's lost, the Tyreek Hill, I mean, they went out and got Juju. They went out and got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So maybe they did do a good job at replacing those guys. But
I don't think either one of those guys, like, we've seen them in other places, right?
Right.
They're not, like,
They don't have the
Tyreek Hill is a
playmaking
one of a
right.
kind. Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill.
There's never been anybody like Tyreek
Who's
Hill.
going to step up? Oh, wait, no. The answer is easy.
What?
Travis Kelce.
Well,
Travis
of
Kelce is
course.
going to run that. Like, he's a tight end or whatever, but he runs the wide receiver.
But could they be a Kelsey injury away from being an 8 or 9 win football team?
What did we see last year?
Right.
What did we see last year? Like, they've got him figured out a little bit closer than the $500 million that he's getting.
Yep, absolutely. Number 2 on this list. This is the guy that I would put number 1 personally, right? But Josh Allen.
Got to be number 1.
Got to be, right? I mean, 'cause that's...
the biggest thing in sports, in my opinion, is chip on the shoulder. There's not one person individually in all of sports combined.
No.
And maybe I'm wrong because there's a lot of other sports out there. But, like, take my 4 major sports, right? There's not another guy with a bigger chip on his shoulder than Josh Allen.
You could maybe make the argument for Clayton Kershaw a little bit just because of,
Old.
Right,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
aging, right, but I'm saying,
but
he's
you don't
still...
hold on to the chip on your shoulder as much when you've had a storied career.
Right.
Like when you're a young gun up and coming,
Yes,
and it's like
it's true.
That chip on your shoulder is so much more real.
For sure. So Josh Allen, number 2. Number 1's the biggest shock because these are official Vegas sports sportsbook odds favorites.
Let's
So I
not
haven't
even
seen
mention
it. I want to hear it.
Let's not mention.
I haven't seen it.
We got 5 minutes left.
We have
Let's
5
not
minutes.
let's not mention where we got the odds from.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, sorry.
No, you're good, but I wish
Untold City.
Hardbook would have just Hard Rock would have just kept it going here in
Just the
Florida,
money,
but
yeah.
they got
Justin Herbert.
bro.
Number 1 at the top of this list.
Dude, number 2 for me. Dude, number 2 for me. Bro, I think your hot take is Minnesota winning the North, right?
Yep.
Which is hotter than my take of the Chargers are winning the West this year. Which I don't know if it's hotter than because it's just like who really expects anyone to dethrone the Packers. But me, myself, in that convoluted AFC West, it's the Chargers' year.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think so
Chargers'
too.
year.
I think so too. They were right there last year. Brandon Staley made a questionable call in that playoff game. That
Questionable calls throughout the season.
of course, throughout the whole season, which is why this next thing here is going to be kind of shocking as well.
We got 4 minutes, so if we're going to get into another
I'm going
thing,
to
let's
get into it. So Justin Herbert, the favorite for the MVP currently. Obviously, this could change going through many camps.
I go Allen Herbert myself. Herbert.
Josh Allen's
myself.
at the top of mine. I would have Burrow 2, and then I would have Herbert number 3. Just because Burrow, you look at the weapons Burrow's got. There's no.
I agree, but my bet with AG Adam Goff, who will be here tomorrow. Like I've placed a
won't be
little
here
friendly
tomorrow.
wager. Oh yeah, that's right. He's
Bummer.
not gonna be here. Yeah, bummer. Friendly wager though with him, like $30. The Bengals don't make the playoffs or whatever.
I like it.
So I'll bump Burrow. Come on, they're making the playoffs, bro.
Right.
Like that team.
Yeah.
Barring injury status, they're great. And I'm sorry for I'm cutting into your time.
You're good. You're good. So I'm going to speed through these. I'm going to tell you number 1 first because it's the least surprising. Sean McDermott is the favorite to be Coach of the Year for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we just talked about Josh Allen. I think Buffalo might be our favorite for the AFC. I think we're kind of on the same line with that, maybe.
You know what? You know where I want to go Coach of the Year, bro? And I bet he might not even be on your list. I don't know the list that we got here.
Who you
Todd
got?
Bowles. Todd Bowles.
He's not on here.
Todd Bowles. Coach of the Year.
So I'll just speed through these real quick.
Yeah.
Because number 3 and number 2 are super shocking. Number 5, top Vegas, or I'm sorry, top odds favorite to be head coach of the year, Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins, rookie head coach.
AG called him Mike McDonald the other day. I'm like, bro, his name is. And I said I messed up because I said McDaniels.
Yeah.
But come on.
So Mike McDaniel, number 4, Josh McDaniel for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Get the
Right.
crap out of here.
Yeah.
No way.
I don't love
Not
that one either.
happening, brothers. Like, if you think that's happening, do not put your money on that.
I'm going to jump up to number 2 and go to Brandon
sorry.
Staley for the LA Chargers is the number 2 favorite.
Call your games right. Yeah.
Right. Call
Could
your
be a
game right.
possibility.
Exactly. Number 3 is the biggest shock. And I don't think I disagree with this. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions.
First off, greatest press conference in the history of the NFL. We're going to bite your kneecaps. Dude, if Detroit can make some noise, I don't care. Give me 6 wins out of Detroit. I might even, obviously I don't have a vote, but I would cash your name in there.
They were kind of fun to watch last year.
Dude, Equanimous or whatever his name, St. Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They had stretches where, like, now they've drafted a little bit on defense.
I think I just mixed him and his brother's names up. Like, I just compiled it. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, fun show today, man. I enjoyed it today.
Bro, looking by y'all's faces, I just don't feel like y'all did, man. Like, I don't know, bro.
What are you talking about?
I have this face all the time.
That is true, RBF. Like, it is what it is.
It's RBF. It's, you know, I
But
want some ribs and brisket.
Ribs
and brisket.
French fries.
Okay.
Like, I really have enjoyed today's show. Shoot, you guys tune in with me, most of you, 5 days a week. I've had a tough day today.
It'll be all right.
And, no, I'm not talking to you. Literally, though. I'm not even trying to be mean right now. Like, I'm not. I've had a tough day today. And to come in here and kind of relieve of that has been extremely nice. You know what I mean? Like, it's been able to, like, that's what sports is, bro.
Step away from it all.
That's why, like, politics are going to be a part of sports in some sense. But that's why you don't hear them on this show.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We'll get into some things and we'll discuss them in a certain way, but we will never make that the forefront or focus of our show. Like, our show is about sports. I am a sports fan. I love sports. And I guess where I'm getting at with all of this, I appreciate, and I said this yesterday, I'm done. I appreciate every single one of you that take your time out of your day and you listen or you watch, whatever. I appreciate you because without you, it does not happen. We're out. I'm going to be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Coach James House Show, actually off tomorrow. So National at 7 a.m. Don't even worry about it. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike 3.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play!
PCB Coins and Cards is the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, coins, and trading card games. PCB Coins and Cards carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Coins and Cards has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel, rookie, game-used, and autograph cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? Bring it in and let us take a look. We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Coins and Cards on Back Beach Road just east of Florida Linen. Call them today at 850-320-8388.
If you're looking for a better car buying experience, Panama City Toyota